This is an Eyewitness News special report.
Panic and confusion in Boston this afternoon after 2 bombs go off at the finish line of the Boston Marathon. Tonight, 3 people are dead, including an 8-year-old boy, and over 100 more have been injured, and we still don't know who committed the crime. Hello, and thanks for sharing your Monday evening with us. We're going to warn you right now in saying that some of the images we're about to show you are disturbing. This was a scene as the bombs went off this afternoon. The first went off in the middle of a crowd of onlookers 4 hours and 9 minutes into the race. Then, nearly 10 seconds later, a second went off a block away. Plumes of smoke filled the streets as people tried to flee the scene. From the air, the damage can only be described as horrific, with sidewalks where people were standing just hours ago now covered in blood.
Nobody knew where it came from. Nobody knew what it was. We just knew it was a destructive device, and everybody's running in, not knowing when the next one could happen, but they ran in. They tore down those fences. They jumped in. They helped the people. It was just unbelievable.
Some of them were very profound. One woman had lost her leg, lots of bleeding. Some children were involved as well. And we took care of the ones that we could and got them into the ambulances as soon as possible.
We know that there are about 40 Manitobans at the race, 32 of which are from Winnipeg. One of these is Vice President and General Manager of the MTS Centre, Kevin Donnelly. He was not injured and called into a Winnipeg radio station today.
About 150 yards ahead of me, as I looked back toward the finish line, there was just this massive boom and then followed by a second one. You know, I was 150 yards or so away when that bomb went off. The explosion happened and, it could have been me, it could have been anybody.
Another Winnipegger and his wife just narrowly missed the explosion.
My wife was actually standing in front of the hotel, and luckily we found each other when we did, because as soon as we left, it may have been 20 minutes before we left the area and the explosion occurred.
It is not believed that any Canadians were injured or killed in the blast today. That information coming from Consular Affairs. And tonight, Prime Minister Stephen Harper made a statement on the attacks.
Obviously, we condemn categorically this kind of violent attack upon innocent people. Our thoughts and our prayers are with all of those who have been injured or killed and their families. And as Canadians, of course, we use this moment to express our complete solidarity with our American neighbors and friends.
It may say April 15th on the calendar, but if you looked outside this morning and thought it was January, no one would blame you. Mother Nature dumped even more snow on us today, and by this evening, about 10 centimeters of snow had fallen across southern Manitoba. The snowfall is being blamed on 2 collisions outside of the city. One woman is dead after she lost control of her car and swerved into an oncoming transport truck on Highway 12 south of Steinbach this morning. The 20-year-old victim was from the arm of Labrocree. The 47-year-old Winnipeg man driving the truck was not injured. No charges have been laid at this time, as the exact cause of the crash hasn't been determined. A second crash, this one between Dugald and Altona, closed Highway 15 today. 4 vehicles were involved in the crash, according to a firefighter on the scene. Roads in the area had poor visibility due to the snow and wind. We'll have more on the forecast, including if temperatures are going to be seasonable anytime soon, coming up in just a few minutes. A man is in custody in connection with a suspicious death Saturday morning. Police located the body of an adult woman in a home in the 1100 block of Alexander Avenue around 11:30 a.m. Police aren't releasing her name at this time, and an autopsy is being performed. 42-year-old Christopher Mackenzie Campbell was arrested by police in Regina without incident Sunday. He's been charged with second-degree murder. Police are investigating after a home in the 700 block of Toronto Street was shot up last night around 11:30. Police say that officers located bullet holes in the house when they arrived on scene. 2 people were inside the house at the time. Neither of them was injured. There's no known motive for the shooting. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 204-786-TIPS.
And now, your Storm Tracker weather forecast.
It's time to take a complete check at your Storm Tracker forecast. Temperatures tomorrow won't be too warm across the region. They'll be mostly hovering around 0. Brandon will be the coldest area of southern Manitoba with a high of -3. Kenora's looking warmer at +2 degrees. And in the 5-day, there's no real warm-up in sight. All our highs in the next 5 days are expected to be above 0, though. Sunny skies for the rest of the week, except for Wednesday, when the clouds will be overhead. That is your complete Storm Tracker forecast. And that is all the time we have for this evening's show. Thank you very much for joining us. For news anytime, anywhere, log on to our website, cbpbtv.com. Good night, everyone.